Hello and welcome. This is Axis Pakistan and I'm Omer Farooq Khan. Today on Axis Pakistan, we are unpacking one of the most consequential security and diplomatic crises brewing right now. A crisis that began with a deadly attack in Peshawar just 2 days ago. But its shockwaves are now shaking regional politics, civil military relations, and Pakistan Afghanistan ties all at once. Let's dive in. Let's dive deep. 2 days ago, militants carried out a devastating suicide attack inside the FC's headquarters in Peshawar, a highly fortified facility, not an easy target by any means. The fact that attackers managed to strike this deep underscores one thing: the militant threat is not just back, it's mutating, it's multiplying, it's growing. This blast isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a pattern stretching from the former tribal areas to the settled districts and now once again into major cities. And yes, once again, it's happening at a time when Pakistan's relations with Kabul were already strained, already very fragile. Islamabad sees this as part of a broader resurgence of militant networks operating from Afghan soil. Afghanistan, meanwhile, rejected any suggestion that the attack was facilitated or planned from its territory. A day after the Peshawar bombing, senior Afghan officials claimed that Pakistan carried out airstrikes in Khost, Paktika, Kunar, the border provinces along the Durand Line. Kabul said the strikes were conducted by Pakistani jets as retaliation for the Peshawar bombing. The Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid condemned the alleged strikes outright. He said they were unacceptable and a violation of Afghanistan's sovereignty. He went further, saying Pakistan should fix its internal security failures instead of blaming Afghanistan. In other words, Kabul is saying your problem is inside your borders, not ours. That comment did not go down well in Islamabad. Pakistan's military spokesperson, Lieutenant General Ahmad Sharif Chaudhry, strongly refuted the Taliban government's claims, saying Pakistan does not conduct covert attacks and that whenever the Pakistan army strikes a target, it publicly announces it. But here's where things get even more complicated. Pakistan's biggest challenge right now isn't just the militants, it's also the political setup inside the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. The KP government, led by the PTI, Pakistan Tehreek Insaf, has a very different approach to Afghan refugees, to border management, and to dealings with Kabul. When the federal government launched the repatriation drive for undocumented Afghans, the PTI-led government, provincial government, openly opposed it. They said the move was harsh, politically motivated, and damaging for Pak-Afghan relations. This put the KP government directly at odds with the security establishment, which sees the refugee issue as central to uh, national security. So what happens when your provincial government and your military leadership have polar opposite views on Afghanistan? You get paralysis, you get stuck. Pakistan's security planners believe militants are regrouping in former tribal regions, especially Khyber, Bajor, North Waziristan, South Waziristan, and adjacent districts like Tank and uh, Dera Ismail Khan. These are areas where political instability, police shortages, and weak governance have created dangerous openings. But operations need political cover, and right now that cover doesn't exist. That means Pakistan's hands are tied at a time when threats are growing, not shrinking. If we zoom out, the Peshawar attack isn't just a tragic incident. It's a trigger for a broader shift in Pakistan's Afghanistan policy. Uh, in Islamabad's view, the Afghan Taliban have either failed or refused to act decisively against the TTP and its affiliates. And the more the attacks continue, the less patient Pakistan becomes. The message coming out of Islamabad now is unmistakable. Pakistan is preparing to harden its stance diplomatically, politically, and if required, militarily. Think about Pakistan's core dilemma right now. On one side, Afghanistan is the sanctuary, safe haven for TTP and other anti-Pakistan militant outfits. On the other side, Pakistan still needs a working relationship with Kabul for border stability, trade, transit, and regional connectivity. So Islamabad is stuck balancing deterrence with diplomacy. But after this Peshawar attack, the the balance may be shifting. This balance may be shifting. Uh, let's circle back to the KP government, because this part is critical. The PTI led administration isn't just a political obstacle. Its policies fundamentally clash with the military's approach to Afghanistan. On refugees, both sides, the security establishment, military establishment, and the provincial government, PTI's government, both have opposite views on the refugees crisis, on refugees repatriation. On security operations, different priorities. Both sides have different priorities. On Taliban engagement, worlds apart. This divide is shaping Pakistan's internal and external security responses, and militants exploit exactly this kind of vacuum, as we have seen in past 2 decades. Like whenever there is a vacuum created, political vacuum, so they just rush to fill in the vacuum and just conduct their activities. So this is a very well established strategic sort of a thinking of the militants. The broader political climate is also contributing to the crisis. The center and KP are barely communicating, because this animosity between Pakistan, there is political parties, especially the one in government at the center, Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and Pakistan People's Party, and the opposition, Pakistan Tehreek Insaf. They they don't keep any communication lines open. So even just to take forward the political agenda, uh, so this is something very unfortunate. Political crises do not get resolved in the current political atmosphere in Pakistan. uh, PTI sees federal policies as politically motivated. This is also a fact. The security establishment distrusts KP's leniency toward Afghan refugees. Local policing is under resourced, and and militants thrive in political disunity. So while the Peshawar attack came from outside the border, Pakistan's internal politics are making it harder to respond effectively. Here's the hard truth: Pakistan is facing a multi-layered conflict. External threats from Afghan-based groups, internal political divisions, governance gaps in KP and former FATA, federally administered tribal areas, a strained relationship with Kabul, limited international leverage. This combination means the road ahead will be turbulent, not just for weeks or months, but potentially for years. So then what happens next? So where do things go from here? There are three likely scenarios. Number one, Pakistan pushes Kabul harder publicly and privately, demanding action against TTP safe havens. Two, limited military options, measures, not full scale operations, but targeted responses, possibly inside Pakistan, possibly along the border. Third scenario can be political realignment at home. The federal government tries to bring the KP government on board, or or sidelines it by creating a parallel security mechanism. Whatever happens, the Peshawar attack has become a turning point. Uh, what are the stakes involved? If Islamabad and Kabul fail to manage this moment carefully, border tensions could spike, more attacks could follow, refugee policy could could harden further, militancy could bleed deeper into major cities, and regional stability could deteriorate. This isn't alarmism. This is the trajectory. This is the trajectory we are already on. The Peshawar attack is a wake-up call on multiple fronts. For Pakistan, it's a reminder that the militant threat is evolving. For Afghanistan, it's a signal that patience in Islamabad is running out. For KP, it's a test of whether political priorities can align with the security imperatives. And for the public, it's another painful reminder that peace in this region is never guaranteed. It must be negotiated, defended, and constantly recalibrated. We'll Viewers will keep tracking how this story develops over the coming days and weeks, because one thing is certain: this isn't the end of the crisis. It's the beginning of a new phase. This is Axis Pakistan. I'm Omer Farooq Khan, and thanks for listening.